Hi everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be finishing up the spring and summertime traveler's notebook. So I know I at least have one other video over here, maybe a couple. I know I worked on a couple of these pages over on Patreon as well back in like maybe April-ish. So this traveler's notebook has been hanging on for the past few months, and I'm definitely a completist when it comes to scrapbooking. I cannot help it. So I really wanted to wrap this book up over this last true month of summer here before I get into all of the things that are going to be happening within September, October, all of those months that I'm so excited are almost here. But for now, I still wanted to record a few more of my summer memories. So what I'm doing right now is there were a couple pages that I decided to go ahead and adhere back to back. So one thing about the Studio Calico Traveler's Notebook is that the pages are very thin. The front and back cover is actually like the same thickness as just the regular piece of paper. I do appreciate that the pages are actually thin because traveler's notebooks for me personally tend to be difficult to work out of. They're not my favorite type of scrapbooking. I always am intrigued. I want to try them, but then it seems like I then remember why I don't do that many traveler's notebooks. And it's because they're kind of hard to work out of. At least I think so. So the fact that these pages are so thin, it really does help with that. But, as I was kind of working on it, there were a few pages here and there where I had maybe done a lot of staples on one side, things like that, pages that I didn't think that I was really that inspired to work off of because, of course, they do have like a patterned side as well as a grid side. So I ended up just adhering a few of the pages back to back, which also helps to get this book finished quicker. So I think today we do about, I'm pretty sure 5 more spreads to complete it. So I did just go ahead and adhere all the pages back to back that I needed to. Then I grabbed some small sticky notes and I just popped them onto the pages that I needed to do so that I didn't have to keep like flipping through every single page of the book as I was going. And then I grabbed out, along with just some of the goodies that I've been using throughout this entire traveler's notebook, a lot of the things that came from Studio Calico and a few of the random like cheap kits that I bought at one point. A little bit of Week in the Life stuff from Allie Edwards from back like in April or May, whenever we did Week in the Life. I also grabbed out just a few of my Project Life cards. They fit really nicely in here. And then I had these, are they 3x3 cards, whatever that size is. And those are actually from way back in the day from Studio Calico from A Beautiful Mess whenever Elsie Larson did the messy boxes. So I've hung on to very few of those products. So I grabbed a few of those things out and used them where I could as well. So of course, I already printed off all of my photos, so I have 5 different little stories here to tell. And again, I have to say that whenever I'm working in these, I don't have any plan beforehand. It probably would be nice to have some sort of idea for layouts, but I just kind of like let it organically come to me and just let the products like just make their way over to me and we just get it done. But these layouts, all of them aren't like my favorites, but I do think it's just kind of fun to work in this size and this type of album. So even though they're not all my absolute favorites, they're quick, they're easy to do, and it's kind of just a fun creative thing to do sometimes whenever I don't want to have to embark on like a really big project. So it was still really fun. And I used up a lot of these products that I'm not sure really where I would necessarily use them, so that felt good as well. So for this first one, I wanted to play off of course, that left side with that big random kind of leaf pattern. I don't know what that is. And kind of the oranges, the reds. So on the opposite side, I did a picture of Poppy. She was under our new quilt and it had some of those same colors. So I thought I would just kind of try to work with that. That picture's printed off as a 3x4. I added in one of the like little vellum, almost like Polaroid looking backgrounds from the Allie Edwards Week in the Life from this year. And then I added that Yes Please card to the bottom. I noticed that some of the chipboard had the 1, 2, 3. Those are Studio Calico chipboards. I thought that those would be perfect to name like 3 little things about Poppy. And then I just added in one of the acetate hearts and a few little tiny phrase stickers that I had as well. And then just like that, we're moving on to the second layout. So that is what I really love about this. Again, quick and easy. I've been revisiting Catfish, one of my favorite shows. I've got to say, there's a bunch of episodes on there that I had not seen. So I just put on a couple episodes of Catfish and just really enjoyed myself. And it was such a nice time because I really have not been in the craft room much the last couple weeks, but I was determined to get in there and kind of just do something creative today in the craft room and try to make a video for you guys and just get in there for myself. But I've been doing so many home projects lately that I have not been in the craft room that often. So just trying to do things where I can, fit things in where I can. And that's where these kind of smaller projects like the Traveler's Notebook spreads tend to come in handy. So for this one, if you guys did watch my last Traveler's Notebook video that I posted not too long ago, actually, I printed off this selfie here of me and my bestie Casey and her two girls, Andy and Mickey, but I didn't end up using it, but I saved it in my pile of Traveler's Notebook junk so that I would make sure that I documented this picture today. So I ended up kind of creating a little pocket. So I just adhered my photo on 3 sides, of course, and then I backed 2 3x4 cards so that I could have just a pattern on one side along with journaling on the back. And then I added a couple of those acetate hearts. I'm really trying to get rid of a lot of this acetate here throughout the Traveler's Notebook. Because those I find kind of hard to use sometimes. So just trying to use them where I can. Oh, I decided to just add a couple pops of black over here on this spread. So you'll see that, and then we'll go back over to the other one. But anyway, I decided to make a little pocket just for something different. Again, not really having an idea of what I was going to do and just trying to change it up and be a little creative here and there. So that's what I ended up doing on the second spread. That Our Story piece of vellum there at the bottom is also from Allie Edwards from the Week in the Life. So I love that I was able to use that. And then I popped on this My Favorite card, which is one of those from A Beautiful Mess. So I was happy I got to use that as well. I mean, those have been in my stash for years, so that felt very good. So anyways, back to the life stuff. So just a bit of a life update is just that, yeah, I have been doing a little less crafting right now, a little more home projects. I've been basically painting my entire house, literally painted the laundry room twice because I didn't like the color, painted our bedroom. I'm painting the living room and the kitchen now, just like really doing a lot of improvements and things like that. So that's been taking kind of center stage for me right now, trying to get a lot of the things done within this month. But on the horizon, as I was mentioning in September, October, I have so many fun things coming over here to YouTube, including stuff about Camp BFF, Sticker Camp, which is coming up. I can't wait. So I hope to have a haul when that's over. Of course, I'll be working on a mini album after camp, and that's like in September. Then, of course, we'll really start to have all kinds of fun content with October daily hauls, working on October daily together, working on December daily. I mean, the months of the really heavy hitters in the scrapbooking community are almost here. So just be patient and we will have all kinds of fun content over here. I plan on sharing just everything with you guys on YouTube. So you can see that as I've been kind of chit-chatting, I'm adding on, I wanted a pop of black. So I just added on a little piece. I cut down one of these numbers, or I think it was I don't know, what was it, a comma or something, some sort of random sticker there. I just cut a piece off and then added it on almost as washi tape. And then I added my journaling onto the back of that card that you pull out of the pocket. And that one's done. So now we're moving on to the page that says Explore, Explore, Explore. So this one I wanted to document this selfie of me and Will. And this was whenever we had a little date day in Jackson, Tennessee. And we went to a couple thrift stores and we had so much fun. So that's been something that I've always loved thrifting. I mean, thrifting's been a huge passion of mine for like as long as I can remember. And it's been so fun because over the last couple of years, Will has gotten into it a lot, especially this year. And so he asked me to go thrift, and he will want us to go on these little road trips to go check out different and new thrift stores and antique stores and stuff. And that has been so fun. So it's just been a super big joy. And whenever we've gone on little trips, that's something that we've done to fill our days and everything. And it's been a great time. So that found and collected card is from Ellie's Studio. And whenever they came out with those cards a couple months ago, I was like, oh my gosh, these were made for me. I can see me using these all of the time on our thrifting adventures. So for this one, I decided to just kind of layer them almost like everything was just kind of thrown onto that page. So I have the selfie there, and then I'm just adding in little bits and pieces about how we went to Jackson and all that kind of good stuff. I have this $sign and the question mark from the Week in the Life stash as well. So I decided to just pop those on, the $sign because we were thrifting, and the question mark because you never know what you're going to find when you're thrifting, right? So I just thought that I would add those on and added on a few other embellishments. One thing that I love about this particular traveler's notebook as well from Studio Calico, this is the first time I've used one of these, but I do love that it has the pattern paper on one side. Obviously, you may not love the patterns every time, but it has been super helpful because you don't have to plan out the layout as much, or at least that's how I took it, because one whole side already has a pattern. So a lot of times I would just either leave it or just stick a few embellishments or like a 3x4 card on there, something like that to fill up that space. But it kind of gives you something to start with, you know, which is kind of helpful than just having a completely blank slate. So that thrifting one with the selfie went by super quickly. I'm keeping all of these mega simple. Now this one I am going to create just a little flip, just also super easy, but I wanted to include 3 photos. So I grabbed out a few 3x4 cards. These two are like book cards. So they say like author and title. It almost looks like a library card. So I loved that. I also really like that stack of books, 3x4 on the back, but I decided to cover it anyways. So I created, you'll see, with just regular old, plain old Scotch tape, I just created a little hinge there so you can open and close those cards. And so then I can add my 3 photos. So this spread is all about books. And if you follow along in my Project Life, you will have seen a lot of these stories before. But this was whenever, maybe like a month ago or so, me and Will went to Atlanta, and I was able to go to a book signing of Ashley Poston, and she wrote The Dead Romantics, The 7 Year Slip, and a novel love story. And so that was so fun, even though the bookstore, it was a really cute little bookstore called Eagle Eye Bookstore in Decatur, Alabama. Decatur, Georgia. But the air was not working. It was really tiny. There weren't enough chairs for all of us. And it took so long that my group, I wasn't even in the last group, we didn't get back there to get our book signed until 10:30 p.m. And this event started, like doors opened at like 6. So it was said that it was only going to last from 7 to 9. And so it was way later than most people were expecting. So there was a lot of little things that kind of went haywire, but it was still very fun. So here I just created like my own little book there to house those 3 photos. They're smaller photos. And then I added on some really cute book related stickers that are from Feed Your Craft. They're super old ones. Then I used this book review card. It might be from Ellie's Studio. I'm not sure, but I used that card. And instead of giving a book review, I just kind of gave a review or told about the book signing, which I really loved. Added that over on the left-hand side. Then I'm just adding some washi, basically for cuteness, and then I'll add a couple other stickers and things, but you get the idea. This one is pretty much finished. So I love that I was able to tell this story as well. So actually, over on Patreon, I'm sure I've done flip throughs over here, but for the past couple years, I did a summertime junk journal. And I'm not a summer girly, but I have enjoyed doing a summer junk journal to kind of really hone in on those things that are special about summer and things that I enjoyed about summer. And even though I didn't like keep up with it as much as I have in the past, and I didn't do a dedicated book just to summer memories. I feel like this traveler's notebook kind of encompasses that same idea. It has spring and summer, but a lot of it is those like special little summer memories that happen. So I do appreciate that. And then here's the last one. So this pattern was not really my favorite, but I feel like it worked with the photos good enough. And then I added another one of those Beautiful Mess little 3x4 cards there that says weekend. So I added that over to the side because I did hang out with my dear friend Rachel one Saturday or Sunday, and it was so much fun. So here I printed off 4 photos from our adventures together, 2 selfies, a foot photo of our shoes, and then also our lunch. So I printed those off at I think 2x2 squares, and then I decided to just kind of sprinkle them down the middle of the spread using more of those acetate hearts to add on a little bit of interest. And I just go ahead and go for it and I staple it, even though I've already adhered this page to the back page. So the backs of the staples are on the back of the traveler's notebook, but it doesn't bother me any. Adding on a few of these tiny phrase stickers, and then I'm going to decorate it a little bit more here and there and finish this page up. And that is going to be the last one. So it just feels really good to have this traveler's notebook finished. I definitely always feel good whenever I complete projects. And so I really was determined to get this done throughout this month. So it feels very nice. I'm happy to have all of these memories documented. And I love just having, a completed traveler's notebook on my shelf. So I added it in with all of my other little mini albums, and it feels very good. So you can see I added on the date, a couple other little stickers. I'm going to pop on this label from LA Studio here and just add a bit of context about hanging out with Rachel. And then I think that is going to be it for this one. So I am going to give you a bit of a full flip through whenever I'm cutting down another one of these stickers here, but I am going to give you a full flip through of the entire album just so you can see all of the pages together here at the end. And I love the way that it all ends up looking. I got to say, there's not anything more satisfying, or one of my favorite things, the most satisfying things as a scrapbooker is being able to flip through a completed project. I absolutely love that. So it feels very, very nice. So here's a look at all of the pages that I've worked on over the last few months, either over here on YouTube or over on Patreon. So, of course, my Patreon archive is open for anyone that's interested. You can pay $5 a month or for 1 month or whatever and watch any of my old content that I have over there. And there's all kinds of stuff, just like 2.5 years worth of stuff. So just a friendly reminder about that. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming along and sharing a little crafty time with me today. I hope that you enjoyed this process video. I know that these layouts were super quick, super easy, but still really fun. And I enjoyed being back in my craft room today. It was so nice. So if you did like it, please give me a like and also consider subscribing. And of course, I will be back at you super soon with another video. Have a great day, friends. Bye, y'all.